Alright guys, Tom here and welcome to a new video. So today we are doing a review of Monday Night Raw for the 29th of July 2013, and I'm going to give props to Michael Cole at least, because if I didn't know it was a taped show, if I was not an internet wrestling fan, I would literally have no idea that this show was not live. Like, literally, they had trending worldwide now, Mr. McMahon or the Wyatt family. They were talking about tweets which are ongoing, and they worked so hard to make it feel like you were actually watching a live show. It was actually pretty good. I was actually really impressed. It kind of looked like you were watching a real live show. Now, it was so believable that you were watching a live show. Yes, it was taped last week. I have to give props to Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler for making you believe it was an actual live show. They worked quite hard on that, but the actual product of the show tonight was actually really good. I mean, I was kind of disappointed on the fact that the build for the mid-card for SummerSlam is taking a really big hit due to the fact that they're working on the two big feuds being CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, and the feud between John Cena and Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. I mean, they're kind of working on the feud between Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow quite well, but the mid-card is suffering quite a lot. I mean, you've got guys like Curtis Axel, you've got AJ Lee, the Divas Champion, who is not getting built well at all. You've got the Intercontinental Curtis Axel, the United States Champion Dean Ambrose, the Tag Team Champions. They're all taking a hit. The Shield, they're all taking a hit due to the fact that they're only concentrating on 2 or 3 big feuds for the summer. The mid-card is taking a huge hit. However, even though there wasn't a lot of build on this show for the mid-card especially, the actual match quality of this show was actually really good. I thought the show itself, match quality wise, the actual thing you were watching on the screen was really pleasing. It was nice to watch. I kind of felt myself actually finally watching a 3-hour show, 1 till 4 in the morning for UK time, without falling asleep. I'm usually going like this, like closing my eyes, but I actually literally could watch the whole show without, I usually like close my eyes and try and stop from falling asleep, but I didn't have to do this because I was so engaged with the actual show. I actually thought the show was pretty good, match quality wise. The build for the mid-card, slightly disappointing, but we'll start off with the first segment, which I never really agree with having Mike work as the first segment. I kind of like to have the first segment as a impactful match or a memorable match, because I always find having Mike work start off, get the first segment slot, you want to make an impact. You want to, but when you think of Raw maybe in a few weeks, this is probably one of the things you'll remember, the first and last segment maybe, and a little segment in the ring where you've got Brad Maddox and Vince McMahon talking on the mic to the crowd. It's kind of not that interesting. I am already clicking off my computer, going on different programs when the show's just started, because when somebody's cutting a promo in the ring, I usually just do something else. I listen to it, but I don't watch it. I'm not fully engaged with what they're saying, so straight away I'm not really paying attention to what they're saying. I'm not engaged with the show. I'm not bothered about what they are doing. I'm not really caring what the hell they're talking about. I just want to, I'm waiting for the next big thing to happen, and we kind of had to wait a little bit for that. But the first segment was basically Vince McMahon and Brad Maddox, and Brad Maddox basically explaining what he said last week about how he was undermining Daniel Bryan. Now, I don't like this all undermining Daniel Bryan. I mean, you're trying to build somebody for the main event, but yet you've got Brad Maddox, who's the GM of Raw, and you've got Vince McMahon, who is the GM of everything, undermining Daniel Bryan. Yet they are the same guys who are giving Daniel Bryan this opportunity in the main event of SummerSlam, yet you're undermining him and slating him and just squashing him before the match has even begun. Like, you're undermining a guy who's literally brought your company forward in the last 2 years, and his first main event, proper main event WWE Championship, where he's actually got a believable chance of winning. I mean, Money in the Bank 2012, you knew CM Punk was going to retain, and the first opportunity for him to win that WWE Championship, and you're already undermining him a month before the SummerSlam pay-per-view. Now, what's that going to do for his momentum going into it? I mean, I know you're trying to create this believability that Daniel Bryan has no chance and Cena will have an easy time, but you're undermining a guy who quite possibly could come out of SummerSlam as the champion, but you've undermined him a month earlier, so the momentum has already gone down from 10 to 0 before the match has started, when this guy's got the biggest momentum in the WWE at the moment, yet you've got two of the biggest guys in the WWE, Vince McMahon and Brad Maddox, undermining the guy. It's just it's not pleasing on the eyes to see Daniel Bryan, who's worked his ass off with pretty much what he said here, and you've got Vince McMahon undermining him. He was being very heelish, but I didn't like the way they were undermining Daniel Bryan. He's brought your company forward, yet you're undermining the guy. Now, I said undermining quite a lot, but I didn't really like this segment. I really wish they'd stop doing that to Daniel Bryan. I mean, whenever Daniel Bryan's in a feud, it's always about how small he is, his stupid hair, his goat face, things that sway away from his actual wrestling ability. And Daniel Bryan's probably one of the best in the world, and you never talk about his actual ability in the ring when you really, that's literally the only thing that's good about him, which is the only good thing that he should be good at, yet you're just squashing a guy who hasn't even started the match yet. Now, the next match was The Shield. The Shield actually came out really well. Actually, I'll give a rating for the segment earlier. Probably give that a 4 out of 10. Yeah, 4 out of 10. I just don't like the way they're undermining Daniel Bryan. For the past 3 weeks, we started with a segment starting Monday Night Raw, talking about Daniel Bryan, yet they're always undermining him in every single segment. Now, what is the point of undermining a guy who might possibly be the new face of the WWE? I don't know. Anyway, the next match was The Shield. The Shield actually came out when Mr. McMahon was in the ring. I thought they were going to say something about how Daniel Bryan or John Cena or something give a promo, but it was actually just to get everything on the way and get Raw underway, get away from this awkward, stupid segment that doesn't mean anything, and actually get on with a decent match. Now, this was The Shield versus Mark Henry and the Usos. Now, we've seen these guys in the ring about 3 times, whether it's in a brawl. I believe this is the first time these guys have squared off. But on Friday Night SmackDown, Wade Barrett and the Primetime Players went up against Mark Henry and the Usos. Now, it'd be easy to say these guys are going to face off at SummerSlam, but I don't think they are. I have a feeling Mark Henry might possibly face Dean Ambrose for the United States Championship. Now, Mark Henry, the biggest heel you have, or one of the biggest heels on WWE, sorry about that, who's now turned face. Now, the only reason I can think of why they've turned him face is so that he can feud with Dean Ambrose, so that Mark Henry can put over Dean Ambrose. But for one, Mark Henry doesn't put on a good match against probably one of the best in the world, Dean Ambrose, the biggest potential, shall we say, going up against Mark Henry, who can't put on a good match. He's done pretty much everything against somebody who should be heel, who's now a face. I mean, I don't know if they're going to use Dean Ambrose to make Henry more face, because the Shield are pretty much a really, really good heel faction, but I don't understand why they want to make Mark Henry face in this equation, because even in this match, he was still using some heelish characteristics of a heel, like doing stare downs and go, but I don't understand why they're turning Mark Henry face. The only reason why I can think of this is so that he can put over Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam. But I'm not even sure if we're going to get that match. I'm like 25% certain that we'll get that match for the United States Championship. But apart from that, the match was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty much, surprisingly, the Shield pretty much for most of the match were putting over Mark Henry and how good he was. The Usos had quite a lot of offense in this match. I mean, I'm quite a big fan of the Usos. They put on a good match, but I can't see them going very far in the tag team division when this Shield are tag team champions, because they're such a strong faction. No tag team in the division at the moment can possibly put over the Shield. They've just got too much momentum. It would just harm them too much for the Shield to get defeated right now, and that kind of makes the tag team division really stale, and I can see why they're making a triple 6-man tag matches. So the match is pretty good. I mean, there was a good bit where the Usos flew out the ring together, 2 of them to take down all 3 members of the Shield whilst Mark Henry was left in the ring. It was quite a lot of mat-based wrestling, quite a lot of sleeper holds, which I don't really like. I don't know if anybody's really a big fan of that. But at the end of the day, the match is always going to go for the Shield's, in the Shield's favor. They're too strong. And pretty much, the ending was kind of dodgy. I didn't really like it. I mean, first, the Shield, Roman Reigns speared Mark Henry, which you're always going to see a spear from the Shield. I mean, Roman Reigns really needs to improve on that Shield. It was an awful Shield, a spear. It was like kind of like a half spine buster shoulder tackle. It kind of sucked, but one of the Usos, I think it may have been Jimmy, he jumped off the top rope during the finisher's frog splash, and pretty much Dean Ambrose stuck his knees out and countered that. And Jimmy just, he didn't sell the move at all. You wouldn't have been able to tell that he just got hit by a really devastating move. But pretty much after that, Dean Ambrose hoiked him up and got him into the headlock driver, which is a pretty decent finisher. Like, Dean Ambrose's face is like vintage Dean Ambrose, like it's just a legendary face when he does the headlock driver. Pretty awesome finisher. I quite like it. I mean, I like how Dean Ambrose is pretty much the guy who seems like he finishes the matches for the Shield all the time. But the Usos and Mark Henry put over the Shield in this match. And I'm just still wondering what Mark Henry's got to do with this feud. It'll be interesting to see whether he will face Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam. To be honest, I think it'd be good if they if Mark Henry put over Dean Ambrose. Anything other than that, I would be quite disappointed in the feud. Now, the next segment was quite funny. It was just showing how bullyish Ryback is nowadays. I was a bit not happy when they kind of went for this bullyish kind of style by Ryback, but after this segment, I was quite happy about it. I mean, Ryback pushed in a line in like a lunch queue. I think it was from early in the day, I believe it was. And basically, this guy was like, I don't know if he whispered or something like, why did you push in? And basically, Ryback just went like that and smashed some tuna in his face and just put him through a table. Now, the table was like a wooden table, like pretty much like what was in the main event, which is kind of funny. But I quite like this segment. I mean, I generally actually kind of felt sorry for the guy. I mean, that shows how well Ryback did well in his character. I think he suits this character quite well, other than a face character. And I'd like to see Ryback actually kind of get a decent push now. I mean, they finally settled down with a decent bullyish character. It works well for the character of being Ryback. I mean, he now interacts with the crowd quite well, especially in the main event. He was interacting with the crowd quite well, kind of making fun of Cena and the fans, and I think it works quite well, and this segment was pretty good. Now, for the Usos and the Mark Henry match, probably give that match a 7 out of 10. It was decent. Still waiting on what Mark Henry has to do with this kind of, whether he's just there to put over the Shield, one of the biggest heels in the company, been there for about 17 years now, or there's a bit more to the story. Will Big Show team up with Mark Henry to face the Shield in a 3-on-2? That was the original rumours. Still waiting upon that, and it will be quite good at SummerSlam. If they did do that, I'm still waiting on that. Now, the Ryback segment was pretty good. Probably give that an 8 out of 10. I really liked that. Yeah, it's it was quite pleasing to see Ryback finally entertaining, shall we say, in a segment. I mean, his mic work's very much improved, but this segment was pretty good, pretty original. Generally felt sorry for the guy, which I guess what they were trying to work for. Now, the next segment was after the commercial break, where Kane and Brad Maddox were backstage. Basically, Kane asked where the Wyatt family was, and Brad said, you need to prove that the Wyatt family should be scared of you by beating Daniel Bryan tonight, which in fact didn't happen. But the next match was Rob Van Dam versus Fandango. Really wasn't digging this match at all. It wasn't really... My stream went down when I was watching this, which was kind of a shame. I only saw about half the match. I missed quite a lot of the entrance and the start of the match, but on paper this match is pretty good. You've got two athletic guys. You've got Fandango, who heavily needs to be given a push. I mean, he's gone right back down to the lower card. He's become a jobber very quickly, from a WrestleMania match against Chris Jericho to a lower card where he's jobbing to an all-timer Rob Van Dam. Now, the match itself was okay. There was a nice few spots. Rob Van Dam managed to hit the Rolling Thunder. Pretty much after that, Fandango managed to roll out the ring and escape. Summer Rae just protected him when Rob Van Dam was going to go for the 5-star frog splash outside the ring, but you should be putting over a guy such as Fandango. Rob Van Dam should be putting over a guy such as Fandango. But Rob Van Dam won, which proves that Rob Van Dam is going to have some big opportunity within the next few months. I mean, it's obvious they're building Rob Van Dam into the main event, possibly for the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. Can't think of another reason why Fandango would get beaten by Rob Van Dam, a vintage old-timer, other than the fact that Rob Van Dam's going to get a title shot pretty much in the next few weeks, which is pretty good for Rob Van Dam and the Rob Van Dam fans. I mean, he's still getting a decent pop. Pretty crazy he's still come back. I think it's pretty awesome. But for me, Fandango really should have won this match. But it'll be interesting to see what Rob Van Dam's push will come to. I was kind of disappointed Fandango was beaten here. I mean, a guy who's completely lost momentum since Extreme Rules, losing to Chris Jericho through an oh my god, Chris code breaker off the top rope. Pretty much after that, Fandango's just, he's a guy with a decent theme tune and that's it, because they haven't really let himself prove in the ring ever since Extreme Rules and WrestleMania. So Fandango needs to be given a strap. I'm going to be honest. He really needs a push. He needs to feud with some mid-carders. I mean, they've turned him into a jobber very quickly. I mean, maybe they thought this match was going to be good on paper or what, but you've just ruined Fandango by putting him up against Rob Van Dam. I mean, the match itself was okay. It just made Fandango look really weak by walking out the ring. But anyway, I'd give that match probably a 5 out of 10 since I didn't like the booking or the outcome of the match by Rob Van Dam winning. But the next bit was AJ Lee versus Caitlyn for a non-title match, and to be honest, this match was really like, I'm looking at the pictures now, pretty much the whole match was very mat-based wrestling. There wasn't a lot to work with here. It was a pretty good match considering there was a lot of sleep holds and stuff. I mean, Caitlyn hits a decent spear to win the match, I'm going to be honest, and that really made AJ Lee get mad. But I've got to question the booking. I mean, AJ Lee's has won Caitlyn 2 times in the past 2 pay-per-views. Like, they're going to hand Caitlyn another match. Now, I don't know if they're busy with the Total Divas and stuff, but Natalya proved tonight why she deserves a title match. You've got the Funkadactyls backstage. You've got a lot of guys. You've got Tamina Snuka, who deserves a title shot. Yet you're going to give Caitlyn, who's just lost 2 in a row pay-per-view matches against AJ Lee, and who she faced in this match. Yet she's going to get another title match, and pretty much by winning this match, she's now the #1 contender again. So we're going to get this match all over again, which kind of, I'm not going to complain about, because I think they put on a decent match. This match tonight was okay, 6 out of 10 match I'll give it. But I don't really want to see the same feud again. I think there's a lot of divas backstage who would really benefit from a feud against AJ Lee. Now, it was kind of nice that we got 2 divas matches, but it pretty much proves that this match didn't really mean a lot. They're quite busy with the Total Divas show, but Dolph Ziggler pretty much came out after that match when AJ Lee flipped that Biggie Langston doesn't really protect her or anything. And then Dolph Ziggler challenged Biggie Langston for a match. Now, I was really annoyed at this because I thought we were going to get a match at SummerSlam for this, but we got it tonight, and we still might get a match at SummerSlam for this, because this match was incredible. Really good match. Favorite match of the night. Second favorite match of the night. I'll give it a 8 out of 10. That's kind of harsh, but I kind of like the Cena and Ryback match more, but 8 out of 10 I'll give it. I mean, Dolph Ziggler tried his hardest to put over Biggie Langston in a good way, even though Biggie Langston lost due to a disqualification because AJ Lee started scratching and clawing at Dolph Ziggler. The match itself was incredible. It was so good. It was so entertaining, really fast-paced. There's a lot of high-flying moves. I mean, it really proves Biggie Langston is the real deal. Incredible match. Can't say anything more about that match. It was really good. Pretty much AJ Lee stopped the match by scratching and clawing at Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler won by disqualification, and Ziggler was pretty much giving it all chat through the match. But it proves that AJ Lee and Biggie Langston may be going for a breakup, a teaser of a breakup, maybe possibly at SummerSlam, something like that. I think Caitlyn and Dolph Ziggler might become a thing, but oh God, I still got a cold. It's ridiculous. But Yeah, this match was one of the matches of the night. I really, really liked it. Wouldn't be at all annoyed if we got another match at SummerSlam between these two guys, because it was awesome. Now, that was an 8 out of 10 match. The next segment was Cena and Daniel Bryan backstage, and Daniel Bryan kind of hinting that he thinks Cena's a liar. He's kind of starting to question himself whether John Cena chose him because he's an easy contender. Yet again, you're diminishing Daniel Bryan as a competitor. Now, the next match was Christian versus Alberto Del Rio. I don't really remember a lot about this match. I mean, Christian does actually get a title match against Del Rio at SummerSlam if you read the SmackDown taping. Sorry if I just spilled that out. The match itself was pretty good, but Christian won after rolling through an armbar, and pretty much from that armbar, the cross arm breaker rolled into a roll-up pin. There was some nice spots. There was like it was okay. I don't really remember a lot about the match. I was kind of getting a bit bored at this point. Not for the show, I was just getting bored about some of the bookings they were doing. I mean, Christian doesn't have a lot more to prove. I mean, I think Christian would be better in the mid-card, feuding with guys who should be pushed to the upper card, than feuding in the upper card, if you know what I mean. I mean, Christian pretty much done everything. He's won nearly every title that there is, and he's got nothing else to prove. Yet you're giving him another World Heavyweight Championship title, one more match. Yeah, lovely. Nice for the Christian fans, but it sucks because Christian's done everything. So it's nothing new for WWE fans, when it'd be better if the all-timer would be putting over guys such as Dean Ambrose or Fandango, like I said earlier, or who's the Curtis Axel. I keep forgetting who the Intercontinental Championships, because they don't use him very well. They don't use the mid-carders at all very well. Even putting him up again with a tag team and facing the Shield, something like that, where Christian's actually purposely doing something. I mean, I don't really care who wins at SummerSlam, because we've seen Christian being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion so many times. We've seen Del Rio be the World Heavyweight Champion 3 times this year already. It's nothing new, guys, and it's just a shame. Now, I'd probably give that match a a 7 out of 10. It was okay, but we're already at 21 minutes, and we haven't even got onto the main event yet, which kind of sucks. But anyway, Cody Rhodes versus Wade Barrett was actually a really, really good match. I mean, Cody Rhodes went for a flying moonsault off the top rope, botched it slightly, botched it heavily last week, but he just half botched it this week. The match itself was pretty good. It's nice to see Wade Barrett's kind of getting a match, getting more TV time, but he always gets the jobber entrance after the commercials. I mean, why do they even give him theme music if he's just going to he's going to get the jobber entrance? But Wade Barrett slowly turned into a jobber after losing that Intercontinental Championship against Curtis Axel, which absolutely fucking sucks. Literally, in the next year, if he doesn't get either the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship, maybe even the Tag Team Championship, they've ruined his career. Because it's ridiculous. He's such a talent, yet he's a jobber. He got trained by William Regal, so did Daniel Bryan. And yeah, he's a jobber. He's a good jobber, yeah. He's a good jobber, but the match was really, really good. I thought it was a decent match, but Wade Barrett, he's not a jobber, come on. But the match itself, 8 out of 10, it was okay. 7 out of 10, let's go for that. Now, Damian Sandow cut a promo after talking about how Cody threw his briefcase in the river. Yet, this was taped before the SmackDown taping, so they were talking about something that hadn't happened yet. So the crowd didn't get behind what Damian Sandow was saying. Michael Cole was talking on commentary about something that hadn't happened yet. It was a very awkward segment. It was cut short. Deserved to be, because it was awkward as hell because the crowd weren't behind it. But they had to talk about it because it was actually pretty entertaining on SmackDown. Yet they taped it before SmackDown, which kind of sucked. It was maybe something about the arena venue size or the timing slot they had for the arena. But that was a really, really awkward segment that actually I'd give that a 5 out of 10, because they were talking about something that actually hadn't happened yet when they taped it, which is quite awkward. So Michael Cole was kind of half talking about it because he didn't really know what had happened yet. Now, the next match was Daniel Bryan versus Kane. I thought this match was actually quite disappointing, considering they advertised it last week. I mean, it spread over 2 commercials. The match itself, when you're watching it, it was kind of like guys doing their moves without the other guy interacting. They didn't flow in the ring together. It was more like them doing their own shit in the ring, which kind of sucked. I mean, Daniel Bryan, a top competitor as well as Kane, but very few times Kane is on his A game nowadays, and it just didn't look like they were working together in the ring. It was more like they were trying to prove themselves in the ring rather than putting over each other, which kind of took the edge out of the match. I mean, I thought the match itself was given way too much time for what it actually meant. Kane, the ultimate put over Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan pretty much won with a reversal from when Kane went for a chokeslam. He pinned him, and then Kane flipped and gave Daniel Bryan a chokeslam, and then the Wyatt family came out and gave a promo. I mean, these guys are the real deal. I saw a lot of guys slating them on Twitter saying they're not the real deal. Come on, the Shield made much more of an impact. Give them fucking time. Seriously, give them time. I hate fans like that. It's just ridiculous. Come on, their entrance is freaking incredible. You see male adult guys in the ring filming the entrance. It means something to us because it's actually something pretty unique. It's something that makes me get goosebumps. I generally like these guys when they come out. I thought the match itself was 5 out of 10, but the promos by Bray Wyatt is great. I was glad the Husky Harris chants didn't start because they're finally letting a new character, a new guy come into the WWE, a gimmick change. I mean, it's the same guys who complain that we don't have enough gimmicks or new gimmicks chanting Husky Harris, the Smarks, basically. Bray Wyatt, class, very good promo. I loved it. Talking about, I still think Kane will face Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam, or if they don't do that, Kane will join the Wyatt family, which will great. Now, the next match was Natalya versus Brie Bella. I'm just going to skip that match. Natalya was great. Brie Bella can't fight. Pretty much to put over the Divas show, the Total Divas show, pretty much. It was sucks because they're taking away time from younger talent who deserve it. I'm being harsh on Natalya because she knows she's brilliant, but the match ended because one of the Bellas, Nikki, came out and started doing this quack thing. I don't know if that was like a Total Divas inside joke or something, but pretty much Brie Bella won from a roll-up pin because of that distraction. Didn't really get it. It was like a duck whistle. What the fuck? I don't get that. But the next match was Curtis Axel versus R-Truth. This was a brilliant match, honestly. This was a great match. There was a lot of really good spots. They cut a promo before the match, basically proving that Paul Heyman isn't going to give up with Curtis Axel through the summer when they're doing a decent feud between CM Punk and Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Throughout the match, Curtis Axel was attacked by CM Punk, which ended the match in a disqualification. Disappointing, really, because the match itself was amazing. It was really fast-paced. R-Truth, still a great talent. Really great talent. He's been around since the Attitude Era. Surprisingly, really, he's like an unsung hero in the WWE. Great talent. Honestly, Curtis Axel is great as well. He's amazing. Every time I see him, I think he gets better and better. But at the end of the night, this was pretty much just to put over the Curtis Axel, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk feud. CM Punk attacked Paul Heyman, and Curtis Axel attacked CM Punk when he did this. That ended like that. They saw it backstage. The match itself, 9 out of 10 I'll give it. It was brilliant. Really fast-paced match. It got underway really quickly. Ended quite fast, but it was a great match. Really proud for Curtis Axel. Seriously, he's doing himself so proud. He's a great talent. Now, the next segment was Triple H and Miss McMahon. And Stephanie McMahon basically said they need to give Daniel Bryan a corporate makeover to make him be the thing. So, still undermining Daniel Bryan. One of your top talents undermining Daniel Bryan. You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't like that, obviously, so I'll give that a 5 out of 10. Next match was the tables match. Now, there was tables match all up the ramp. Literally, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tables on the ramp. Yet, every time they went for a table in this match, they went under the ring. I posted it on Facebook. I got 32 likes on this Facebook page thingy. The match itself was really good. I really liked it. I mean, Ryback was chatting with the crowd quite a lot. He was showing his bullish character. They used a lot of tables. I mean, Ryback used the tables quite a lot as a battering ram. There's a lot of stair ross. There was a good where basically both of them had steel steps through it and they clashed. It was great. I really like this match. It was awesome. I mean, Cena won from an FU through the table on the corner, on the top right-hand corner. The right-hand corner of the ring post. Oh, God. the right-hand corner of the turnbuckle, sorry. The match itself was good. It's pretty much just to show that Daniel Bryan, they're trying to build a feud out of friendship. It kind of seems weird because at the end of the match, Daniel Bryan went to the ring bell, picked up the WWE Championship, and gave it to John Cena as kind of like a friendship thing. But he took it away really quickly, and it was pretty much showed that, you know what, I'm here to win. Screw this friendship, I'm here to win. It's kind of like they're kind of make a feud out of nothing for the point of making putting over Daniel Bryan, if you get what I mean. But apart from that, this match is probably 9 out of 10. I really like this match, as well as the Curtis Axel R-Truth match. And what was the I kind of forgot on the match I was praising so much earlier. What was it? Let's have a look at this match. What was the match I was praising quite a lot earlier? This is embarrassing, Jesus. Dolph Ziggler versus Big E Langston, that was it. But apart from that, the actual show, there wasn't a lot of build towards SummerSlam except for the upper card. Apart from that, a decent show. The match quality was amazing. I thought there was some really, really good matches. Pretty much most matches were over 5 out of 10 except a few matches. Apart from that, kind of really liked the show. Surprisingly, wasn't really much bothered about the fact that it was a non-live show because you wouldn't have noticed anyway. But usually non-live shows suck, but this show is actually pretty good. So for this show, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. If they built the lower card or the mid card better, I would have given it an 8 or a 9 out of 10 because I thought the match quality was pretty good actually. They pretty much... They knew they needed to concentrate on the match quality to make you engage in this show, and they didn't disappoint really. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Subscribe as well. Probably give this show an 8 out of 10, yeah, like I said. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.